What's going on, YouTube? This is Boxingwave. You guys see the title, man. This got to be the most random boxing news that I've heard in a very, very long time. I mean, I just literally saw it and I wanted to jump on here immediately because I just can't believe what I just heard. I don't even had any time yet to register this. Like, I literally saw it and came to my computer, and I'm here with you guys right now. Canelo Alvarez is going to be defending his undisputed championship at 168 against Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, the current undisputed champ at 154. He's going to be moving up two divisions to fight Canelo Alvarez. Man, the only thing that I'm really happy, I'm happy for Jermell on getting the opportunity, all right, because I think getting a fight with Canelo is a great opportunity. It's the best opportunity in boxing right now. You know, if you're Canelo or if you're Anthony Joshua, I feel like getting that opportunity to fight a fighter to make that much money that, you know, I'm sure it's going to be as high as payday. I'm happy for him. You know, the Charlo twins are my guys. I'm happy for Jermell Charlo. I'm also happy that we finally got some official news, man, because I haven't made any content about Canelo Alvarez and exactly what all this stuff that's been going on, the rumors for the past month. It's been all over the place as far as who is going to be Canelo's next opponent, who to blame, and who's ducking who. All this stuff with 168 and, Benavidez, Morrell, and all of this stuff. Jermell Charlo, the twin brother. All of this has been the talk of the last month. You know, if you're a content creator, all the content creators has been making content talking about whether or not Canelo is ducking Benavidez for not fighting Benavidez, and it's Benavidez ducking David Morrell for not fighting. It's been a lot. Even Edgar Berlanga, you know what I'm saying? Another guy that his name has been in the talks. Before we heard that Canelo was getting a 3-fight deal with the PBC, Berlanga was another opponent that was a possible opponent for Canelo Alvarez. But Jermell Charlo, I swear, there was no point. Even when Jermell Charlo called out Canelo, maybe a month or two back, a couple months back, at no point did I ever believe that Jermell Charlo was going to be Canelo Alvarez's next opponent. What do I take out of this? Well, the first thing is Canelo is at a point in his career, at this very moment, Canelo is at a point in his career where he don't care about how people feel. Like, this is the confirmation here. Like, whatever slander he's gotten from people in the past month about him being a duck and his performances, his recent performances, he really doesn't give a shit. This is the confirmation we needed, you know, because people are going to be all over this. I haven't even heard. I don't even know if people reacted to this yet. I can't wait to listen to other content creators to hear how they feel about this, because I was not expecting this at all. I mean, damn, we were just talking about Tim Tszyu and Jermell Charlo fighting each other next. You know, I mean, Jermell, obviously, he's been out the ring for a year now. And by the time, this is for September 30th in Las Vegas, by the time they face each other, I mean, it's going to be well over a year since Jermell's been in the ring being Castano. All right, so Jermell has been out of the ring. Canelo, he's been pretty active. You know, took a little break because of the injury, but he's been fairly active. I think he had a couple fights last year. Took a break, came back, beat up John Ryder in his most recent fight. I have to keep it real, man. And Jermell is my guy. This is nothing against him because this is a great opportunity. And as much as I really wanted to see the Tim Tszyu fight, right? As much as I really wanted to see that fight, I'm not going to, if you're going to get a shot at Canelo, anyone's going to take it. You know what I mean? This same goes for Floyd. The same goes to Manny when they were fighting. Everybody was waiting on them to see what they were gonna do. Even as much as we wanted Bud and Spence a couple years back, both of them would have jumped on the opportunity to fight Manny Pacquiao over each other. Both of them like said it. So this is before Pacquiao obviously lost to Ugas. In any event, I just don't know about this, man. Like, I don't like this. I don't like it. I really don't like it because obviously I want other fights for Canelo. I've been one to say like I really want the Benavidez fight. I've been wanting it for a minute. I've been making so much content about that fight over the last couple years, and I really want that fight. You know what I mean? I just think that's a great matchup. I think Benavidez has finally done enough to at least get the shot. He's earned his shot. I think he's more deserving of the shot. And I think that since even before Canelo had his championship run at 168, I felt back then, and the videos are still up, that Benavidez would be his most difficult challenge at 168. Saunders was good. Plant was good. You know, Callum Smith was big. That was good. But I wanted the Benavidez fight. You know, and I know Benavidez didn't have the resume, and I know everybody used to, you know, or still going to that part where he's like, you know, his resume is all that. Why are people saying it's just from the styles? Like, I like Benavidez. I like, you know, I think his style matches up well against Canelo. We won't know until they actually fight, though. But Jermell Charlo, and even though I feel like I wasn't a big fan of the timing of Canelo fighting Jermall, we all thought it was Jermall. It was going to be Jermall once. I didn't think it was going to be Jermall, but when I heard about the 3-fight deal that Canelo was doing with the PBC, I was like, all right, you know, I always wanted this fight, just like others. I always wanted the Andrade fight as well. I wanted the Jermell Charlo fight since 154. I even liked the Jermell Charlo fight when they were both at 154. You know what I mean? There's a lot of fights that I wanted. Even Danny Jacobs against Jermall. Whatever happened with that? Maybe that's what we get next. Maybe now that Jermall is officially not Canelo's next opponent, maybe it's Danny Jacobs. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's really Andrade. I have no idea. I don't know what to believe right now. This just hit me. I don't even know if I'm going to feel the way I feel right now about this fight, but the few minutes that I had to think about this before I hit record on this camera, I'm like, I don't know if I like this matchup. You know, first of all, I've never been, and I'm on record for saying this, I've never been a fan of any of these fighters going up 2 divisions to fight the best fighter. You know what I mean? The only difference here, as opposed to Mikey going up to fight Spence, or you know, Kell Brook to fight Triple G. I think Rigo went up to 130 to fight Loma. Was it 130? I think it was. Let me check. Let me just fact check that real quick. But you guys get my point. I've never really been a fan of fighters doing 2 divisions. Only, and regardless of the history behind it, I know there's a lot of history behind that. Regardless of that, the only reason why I give Jermell a little bit more of a chance in an argument is simply because he's actually legitimately undisputed. Unlike those other guys, there was fights where I was waiting to see. I was waiting to see Mikey fight Loma before doing something crazy like that. Or I was waiting to see Kell Brook fight Errol Spence at the moment. You know what I mean? So in those 2 occasions, I really wasn't bothered by it like that. You know what I mean? I mean, those are the reason why I really didn't like it back then. For Jermell, he's undisputed at 154. But now we're skipping a whole division, 160, and I don't think all the talent is there at 160. I don't. I repeatedly tell you guys, I think 160 currently is the worst division in boxing. And it's not just because of the lack of talent. It's just the lack of fights being made. No one's unified. Everybody's scared and running around and taking the easy route in the division. Everybody's cherry picking to me. No one looks exceptionally good. Like, no one It's a big question mark at that division. But when you go to 168, there's a lot happening right there. Outside of Canelo, we just had Benavidez and Plant. Morrell is on the come up. He's looking phenomenal. You know what I mean? I don't expect David Benavidez to fight him next. Even though we heard that they were going to fight, and then we heard that they weren't, and then Morrell came out saying that he was getting ducked by. So I think with Jermell going up, I don't even think it has. I mean, you can add on the fact that he hasn't fought in over a year, but it just was like, I don't know. Like, even from a stylistic matchup, I don't know. And you know what? The thing is, Jermell is literally coming off his best performance in his career. That's the best version of Jermell Charlo. That last fight with Castano, the rematch, that was his best performance. I've been watching him. I've been watching him for a really, really long time. I've been watching him since, like, even before I started this channel. I've been watching him for a minute. And he's evolved dramatically, you know what I'm saying? But Canelo has too. And even though Canelo may be slowing down a little bit, and I think he is, I don't like this matchup, man. Not even solely based on size. I mean, size is a factor. And you know what? I wasn't really mad at the Jermell Charlo fight, because if you're going to give me a 3-fight deal, if you could throw Benavidez or Morrell in the mix of that, some fight where, going in a fight people may not feel you're going to win, I respect it. You know what I mean? I mean, you're coming off of a performance against John Ryder, which was a little lackluster, because he started to slow down again, just like he did in the Triple G trilogy fight, and just like he did in the Bivol fight. He went on a great run, stopping Plant, and after that, it seems like Canelo hasn't looked that phenomenal. And I don't know if I really like this as a challenge for Canelo. Because of the size difference between the two. And even though Jermell has improved, I don't know if he's better than Canelo. You know what I mean? Like, Canelo, hate him or love him, I still believe that he's up there as a generational great. There's guys that are elite, and there's guys that are even pound for pound. You might swap some of them out, like Jermell. Jermell is there for me, being undisputed, coming off of that phenomenal win against Brian Castano, who I respected a lot going into those 2 fights. But I have not, it has never crossed my mind that these two would fight. And now that it's on and it's official, I really don't know, man. I don't know if I like that fight. Real quick, when I think about the fight, I think Jermell, one advantage is he has the better work rate, in my opinion. I mean, great conditioning, and I think that is going to be a strength for him if this fight goes late. You know what I mean? Great conditioning and great chin. Great chin. I mean, look at the shots that he took from Castano in that rematch. But you going to 168. And I don't know, man. I mean, Canelo is a puncher, and he's bigger, and he's fought bigger guys. So even though Jermell is a great puncher, I think he is a top 5, top 6 pound for pound puncher in the sport. You know what I mean? I mean, vicious knockout power, proven over and over again. Canelo is one of the best chins in all of boxing. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's stopping him. No one's really hurting him like that. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been in there with Triple G. I don't know where Jermell wins here. And I'm talking about, it's not the worst fight, but when I'm being honest, like, I don't really know how Jermell wins here. Even with the work rate, and even if I feel like you're going to come off strong in the later rounds where Canelo has slowed down dramatically, Is it going to be enough to win? You know what I mean? Is it going to be enough to win for Jermell? You know, I don't even know if he can hurt Canelo. You know what I mean? Oh man, this is just threw me way off, man. I really don't know what else to say. It's just crazy to me. I cannot wait until more information. Is there going to be some sort of catch weight? If there is, you know, I mean, that would make it more even if there was some sort of catch weight in there. Maybe there is. The report I read didn't say anything about a catch weight in favor of Jermell. Not only that, but I wouldn't expect Canelo to do any favors. You know what I'm saying? For anyone coming up to fight him. If you're going to fight him, you got to come up to fight him. If you're from a lower division. If you're a higher division, you got to come down. We saw that with Bottle Jack. You know, he tried to drain Bottle Jack, get him to come down to like 180 or something, even though he's been fighting that cruiserweight for a good amount of time. Oh, man, this is weird. This just threw me out like the loop. Now, when I heard about Errol, you know, being the third fight in the the package, I didn't really react because, you know, that really doesn't, that can change at any given time. You know, I mean, Errol's about to go into his most dangerous fight in his career, fighting Terrence Bud Crawford. Is that fight even going to still be on the table if he loses to Terrence Bud Crawford? I doubt it, you know, fighting Canelo, I mean. All right. If Spence beats Crawford, I can see the fight realistically happening. You know what I mean? Down at some point. I saw that fight happening. Even though he's coming up from 147, I just feel like, I'm not trying to say Errol is better than Jermell. That's not what I'm saying. But stylistically, I think Errol's style, just like Chris Algieri broke it down recently, he thinks that Errol's style might match up well against Canelo. You know, if you just remove the fact that Errol is smaller, naturally smaller, no matter what he walks around in, if you just remove that, I think because of his work rate, it matches up well against Canelo in those later rounds when he starts to gas out. But Jermell, even though I think he has great conditioning, I don't think Jermell's not a pressure fighter, though. Whereas Errol is. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't really hurt Errol, Canelo might have issues with him once he starts to burn out. You know what I mean? This is why I like the Benavidez fight, because Benavidez is a pressure fighter, but he's big. He's a big dude. He's too big for 168. That's why it's not, I don't think it's a great matchup for Canelo, but that's my opinion. You know what I mean? So look, man, if this fight really goes down, and it looks like it is, and his 3-fight deal is legitimate, I think Canelo is going to do exactly what he wants to do. And now, if the Benavidez fight does not happen, right? Because I feel that if the Benavidez fight does happen, it's going to be ordered. Like, he's already the interim champion, the WBC. If they order it, or if they order the Morrell fight, I think those fights could happen. But I'm a little disappointed at the choice of opponent. You know, Jermell coming up 2 divisions. Great fighter, pound for pound fighter in my opinion. But I don't see it working for him in his favor. I don't see it. I want him to win. Of course I want. I'm rooting for him. But I don't see, I have to be honest. Like, I don't know, you know. I mean, I was just concerned about him fighting Tim Tszyu, because I went from Jermell is going to wash him up to, I think the fight is 50-50 now. And I was still leaning to Jermell for that fight, but I was a little iffy on it because of the fact that Tim Tszyu is still improving with every fight. And I think any fighter that's improving with every fight, that's not the guy that fought Terrell Gausha. But Jermell is still improving too. But Jermell is coming off of an injury, and he's coming off of a layoff. And he's gonna fight Canelo? Come on, bro. Like that's I mean, I wasn't crazy about the Jermell fight neither. I didn't like the timing of it. But with this, I don't like the timing for Jermell. And I don't like the fact that he's smaller than Jermell. He's smaller of the two brothers. Jermell definitely needs some things going on. Mental issues is off. Obviously, he's going through some things. And he's even rustier. It'll be 2 years. You know what I mean? And he didn't look good in his last fight. I do believe that Jermell fights on a level of his opposition. You know what I mean? So that is a thing. But when you're coming off a 2-year layoff and you coming in with personal issues, there's no real question on where to go. So I didn't like that fight per se, but I didn't have a problem with it if it's going to be the first of a 3-fight deal. If you go on to fight Benavidez, Andre, whatever, then I'm good. Morrell, whoever. I'm good with the 3-fight deal, but I'm not good. And I know Undisputed. I know it's going to be 2 Undisputed champions fighting at the same time. I get it, but it's not the Undisputed champion at 160 that he's fighting. It's the Undisputed champion at 154. And if we be honest, I don't even know if Jermell is the best. I know he's the best at 154, but I don't know if he's the best at 160. And I say that it's not because there's amazing talent there. It's just he's a smaller guy. You know what I mean? Is that power going to carry over? That power is a huge factor for Jermell. And I feel like now that he's fighting a much bigger guy with a phenomenal chin, that power was the equalizer at 154. As good and talented as Jermell is, that power is a huge factor at 154. Because he can hurt anyone. But going to 168 to fight the best fighter at 168, who has a phenomenal chin and is bigger than you, I really don't know. I'm happy for him for getting the opportunity. I'm just a little unsure about how this fight can go. I'm definitely going to go back to that Castano fight, which I have, just to see where angles and what areas I can see Jermell, having success in. Obviously, I think Jermell, pound for pound, is more talented than some of the people that Canelo has fought recently. I don't even know if Jermell would beat an older Triple G. This kind of things I don't know. He may be, but I don't know. I'm not sure on that. Can he beat an older Triple G? I don't know. You know what I mean? He just struggled against Castano 2 fights ago. So can he beat an older Triple G? I don't know. But I think he's more talented than John Ryder. I do. I think he's more talented than Callum Smith. I do. Plant is slick and stuff, but Jermell is overall more talented than him. But these guys are bigger dudes. And that size thing is a huge factor. Jermell hasn't even fought at 160. He hasn't fought at 60 yet. You know what I mean? So anyway, I don't know. I had to give you my thoughts. Obviously, if we find out more information, and yeah, the fight with Guillermo Rigo was definitely at 130 with Lomachenko. You know what I mean? I don't think this is as bad as Mikey. This is not a rant video. This is not as bad as Mikey versus Spence. This is not as bad as Brooke versus Triple G. This is better than those two. So moving up in 2 weights from a guy that used to fight in your division at 154 is not that bad. But I just want to see Canelo really challenge. I want to go into the fight thinking Canelo might lose this one. I don't want to go into a fight or after the fight where Canelo underperforms, where we're like, all right, well, if Jermell wins the fight or if Jermell does well and almost wins, it's going to be like, all right, it's because Canelo's falling off type of thing. You know what I mean? Like Jermell ain't going to really get his credit You know what I'm saying? Because no one really thinks he's gonna win the fight. No, I want to say no one, but most people are not gonna be, thinking that Jermell is gonna win. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you guys were just all in my comments the other day talking about Tim Tszyu gonna knock him out. That I'm being biased and all this stuff, even though I think it's 50-50. You know what I mean? I want to see Canelo go into a fight, and this is why I say Benavidez, Morrell, or even Andre. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure where this fight. I'm not certain where this fight is going. I want to feel like how I feel about Jermell and Tim Tszyu. I don't have that feeling. It's not the worst 2-division jump, but it's not what anyone was asking for neither, except Jermell Charlo. So I'm gonna get on out of here, man. I'm definitely gonna follow up on this now that it's official. I was motivated. I'm motivated now to talk about Canelo, and this whole stuff that's been going on. All the other stuff was lies, rumors, fights that didn't happen, unsuccessful fights, planned, all this stuff. Now we know what we really got here, and I'm happy, but I'm a little disappointed because I wanted to see Canelo involved in other fights. Great shot for Jermell, but I honestly was really looking forward to this Tim Tszyu fight because I feel like Tim Tszyu was the last guy I felt like Jermell needed to fight. You know what I mean? It's always going to be another danger. There's always going to be another danger. Even when you collect all 4 of those titles, there's always somebody else. But I feel like, Jermell already solidified himself. It's just that this Tim Tszyu fight, Tim Tszyu he's took it to another notch. So I'm interested in the fight. I was really highly excited for that fight. So now that they're fighting each other, I'm kind of disappointed in the sense that I wanted Jermell to fight Tim Tszyu, and I wanted Jermell to fight Benavidez. You know what I mean? I figured it wasn't going to be him, but I don't know. I'm a little disappointed, man. I have to be honest. I have to be fair. And there's no hate in the shade. I hope Mel don't feel no way about it if he sees this video. You know what I mean? But I'm just being honest, man. I want him to win, but I'm not. I kind of wanted other fights for the both of them. But it is a huge opportunity for Jermell, for Canelo. I just feel like he is in the position to choose whatever fights he whatever fights he wants. No one's going to turn him down unless it's going to be some kind of ridiculous stipulation to the fight, like Bottle Jack, coming down 20 pounds and all that for a catch weight, or Bivol. So, those guys that Bivol already fought him. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, man. Let me know how you feel about the fight. And also, drop some comments on the styles. And if you think that Jermell has a good shot at beating Canelo. Sometimes some of these fighters are better when they move up. But moving up 2 might be a little bit too much. I hope for Jermell's sake, he doesn't move up too much to where he's losing his speed, because he's fast. But, I hope he's not bulking up to a point where he becomes slower. You know what I mean? Might be a little bit more durable, but you want to be quick. You want to be agile. You want to be able to move the way you normally move. Coming off of an injury and being a little bit, delayed is bad enough. Especially going into a fight with a guy that's been active. All right. So again, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button if you like the video. Share it on your social media and all that. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.